Hey, how's it going, guys? So today's video is just a nice simple little video. It's a tutorial video. I'm teaching you how to play Sylveon. I know that my Sylveon deck profiles have gotten like a good amount of attention. So for some of you that still haven't figured out the deck, or you want to learn how to play it for next season, because it will be one of the top contender decks. This is just a little breakdown on the combos and stuff, and the best way of going about to play the deck. So yeah, with that said, let's get into this deck and let's break it down so we can start learning the combos. Alright, so your main thing of this deck is your EV lineup. You wanna run the energy evolution one. This one lets you whenever you attach an energy, search your deck for a Pokemon that evolves with that energy type. The point of the deck, obviously, is Sylveon. Okay, Sylveon has a very good attack. It's called Magical Ribbon. Magical Ribbon for one fairy energy. It lets you get any 3 cards and add them to your deck, or add them to your hand. It's really good to let you like plan out your next moves. This deck, it's not a fast-paced deck. It's not a like I'm gonna come in and hit you. It's more of a slow-paced, strategical. You want to look at what's on the board, what's been played, stuff like that, and get cards that will help you keep control of the board state. That's pretty much what this deck is, what this deck's purpose is. So yeah, this version, which is the version that we're playing right now at Fire and Dice, this version runs Bunnelby. The reason why we run the Bunnelby is because we have the game in such a control state that we make our opponent deck out. That's probably like 80% of the time how we win our games, and that's pretty much it. So with Ribbon, you grab anything from your deck and you set it up for next turn. So some of the combos that we like to do with this deck is we like to grab supporters that we need. One of the biggest supporters that I personally like opening up with is Team Rocket's Handiwork. The reason why I like opening up with this, like this being the first card I play, just in case if my opponent has something valuable still in their deck that they haven't searched out or put in play, this lets me have a chance to discard it. Also, this being in the discard pile, it makes it an easy target for VS Seeker, even for Puzzle Time. Sorry, I froze for a second. But yeah, so this lets you, this practically ensures your victory. If you guys don't know what Team Rocket's Handiwork does, flip a coin. Flip 2 coins for each heads. Discard 2 cards from your opponent's deck, from the top of their deck. So that's really good. If you get 2 heads, that's 4 cards. That's practically like almost the deck slowly being chipped away. Another good thing to use is Team Soul Grunt. If you know your opponent's running like colorless or rainbow energies or dragon energies, which those are getting rotated out, but still, if you're dealing against people like that, Team Skull Grunt is very useful against that because it stops your opponent from having those cards in hand to be used. So this is always a good card. One thing that I will say about this deck, it does run N, but you honestly, you don't want to play N. Like the only reason it's in here is for a last resort. Like if you're really stuck and you need to play something, you play the N. But in reality, you don't even want to play the N. If you're playing Magical Ribbon, I assure you, 80%, maybe even 90% of the time, your opponent will try to end you because they don't want you to get the cards in your hand, or the cards you search for, into your hand. So more than likely, they're gonna end you. And they're gonna end you every turn. So if you have a bad hand, it's okay. Don't try to go for the end. If you see something else that you can set up, if you can try to set up a Team Skull Grunt to slow your opponent down in energies, or you want to set up a Handiwork to start discarding cards, you want to do that so then your opponent ends you. Now if the next turn they don't end you, then obviously you'll go for the end and try to like set your hand up. But if you ribboned, more than likely you're going to ribbon into things that you're going to use for the following turns. And then it also runs your basics. You run Hex Maniac just in case if you're dealing with something like item lock, anything like that that slows you down. You're also running Delinquent. This version runs 2 Delinquents. I think that's a little heavy, but stadiums are being used more frequently, and at our locals, Volcanion is a big thing, so that's something that we try to play against. So that's why we run double Delinquent, just for that case. And that's pretty much it for the supporter line. When it comes to like your items in your stadiums, for our version, we're running Silent Lab. Because for the majority, yeah, we set up the Eevee, but we do that turn 1 and just have a beefy, tanky 200 HP, or not 200, yeah, 200 HP Sylveon just hanging out in front. The other Eevees, if we have them bench, we usually evolve into them. We usually don't like use the energy to make it evolve. We usually force evolve them. So yeah, so that's why Silent Lab's really good, because it stops your opponent from playing Lele's, Shaman's, which Shaman's getting rotated out as well. It stops Volcanion really fast. So yeah, it stops, what else? That's pretty much it. Like, and Mew, because supposedly Mew is gonna be a big thing coming next format. So yeah, it stops things that go off turn 1. The purpose of the deck is control. It's to have control of the board state. That means anything that's happening on the board. So for the majority, you do run hammers. The reason you run hammers is because you want to make sure that you're hitting the energies that are going to help your opponent. Just a couple examples. If your opponent is relaying Xerneas and they're doing Geomancy, if you crushing hammer their main Pokemon and you crushing hammer their energy, that Xerneas is stuck unless they play another one from their hand, another energy, or they play a switch, a floatstone, or something to get it out of there. You want to do this towards mid-game against Xerneas, because for the most part they're going to bring out all their energies and spread them out, and then when you crushing hammer them, if they have an energy, they're going to try to attach it to that one Xerneas to try to Fairy Garden or do something like that. It does run enhanced hammers just to take care of anything like rainbow energies or double colorless energies, because those are pretty annoying to deal with. And also, instead of like having to rely on the coin flip, you can just get rid of those energies right away. Now, one of the best combos that I like of this deck is that it runs Max Potion. And the reason why we run the Max Potion is because Sylveon only needs 1 energy to attack for the Magical Ribbon. So you Magical Ribbon, you search for this if you know that your Sylveon's gonna be close to dying next turn. You search for this, and then once it takes a hit, the next turn you draw, you do this, you remove the 1 energy, touch another energy. Your Sylveon's doing the same thing it was doing last turn, which is searching for 3 things to play next turn. It's a very good combo. It saves you a lot from allowing your opponent to take prizes. So, and that's pretty much what the deck is about, just to have control a good majority of the time. It does run Puzzle Time. We run Puzzle Time because we want to get back things that we use. As you've seen, this deck does not run Sycamore, so you're not discarding things just for the sake of discarding. So if you're bringing stuff back with Puzzle Time, you're bringing stuff that you need, stuff that you want to use again. Majority targets for this are hammers, just to keep control of the energies. If most decks, you know that they only run like 6 or 8 energies, and you play these and you stop them, that's it. Like, they're out of energies, they're not going to be able to do anything. This gives you an additional 4 crushing hammers, if you need the 4 crushing hammers. But for the majority of the part, you usually bring back hammers, and you bring back BS Seekers or another supporter or something that you need to play. And for energies, you do run double colorless because there are times that your opponent won't be able to set up, so they'll leave 1 Pokemon that's just a little under 90, and you can donk it. Or actually, it's a little under 110. I think that's its secondary attack. Let me just double check. Yeah. So if for whatever reason, like say your opponent opens up Shaman and they get stuck, and then it's your turn, and you went first, you attach a double colorless, knock out the Shaman, and you win. It's a free Shaman kill, and that's why we run the Lysanders to pull those up. So yeah, and we play the Fairy Energies, of course. Some versions play only 6 Fairy Energies. We're playing 8 at the moment. I've seen people play only 5, nothing lower than 5. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck. It's very control based. It's not a deck that you want to like jump into really fast and do things that you're not confident of. It's a deck that you want to take your time and strategically play out your moves. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So there you guys have it. That's pretty much the Sylveon deck. I know that I sounded really bored while I talked about this deck, because this deck, it's not my playstyle. I don't like playing decks like this. I don't like playing decks that are just like slowly picking at my opponent. I like decks that are a little more on the harder side, a little faster. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Eddie from our locals. Eddie let me borrow the deck. I don't have this deck personally, but Eddie did let me borrow the deck, so then I can do the tutorial for you guys. So shout out to Eddie. I know you're watching, so thanks, man, for all the support. I also want to give out another shout out to Eggaudo. He's another YouTuber. I am gonna link his stuff in this description. Go check him out. He's a gamer. That's pretty much what he does. So if you're into like cool little games and stuff like that, go check his channel out. Giving him a shout out because he's actually helped me out a lot on my channel. I did mention him previously when we got the logo set up, which I was really happy about. He helped me out with the logo, and he's been giving me like little tips and tricks on how to grow my YouTube channel, which has been helping out a lot. So a little shout out to you too, man. Thanks for everything. With that said, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to share the video just in case if anybody else is trying to figure out how to play Sylveon. And with that said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.